everyone, welcome 8-Bit Geeks 8-Bit Horrorfest. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And this is Movie Films with Bill and Steve. Today, we'll be looking at John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness from 1994. An insurance investigator begins discovering that the impact a horror writer's books have on his fans is more than inspirational.
Oh, that is actually a really good synopsis. Good job, IMDb.
Good job, IMDb. I'm going to say John Carpenter wrote that. He took time out of his busy touring schedule to think, you know what? I really need to update the synopsis.
He went to the IMDb page, and the synopsis at the time was like, books are bad!
The synopsis was, John Trent is an investigator for an insurance company, and he's investigating Charlton Heston's company for fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that is what's happening, but if you read that synopsis and looked at the poster for his film, you'd be like, whoa!
What the fuck is happening?
So did Charlton Heston, have a book that sucks people into it, and he's committing insurance fraud because he's actually murdering people? I mean, that sounds like a really cool Tales from the Crypt episode.
That does sound like a cool Tales from the Crypt episode.
A John Carpenter film, I don't think that makes.
No.
But this is In the Mouth of Madness. This is the third film in John Carpenter's, End the World trilogy of films that started with The Thing. Then there was Prince of Darkness, and then it was resolved in the Mouth of Madness. The theme throughout the films is, of course, the end of the world through one way or the other.
Yes.
And it's that's kind of the themes throughout the films. Although I'd argue Prince of Darkness, it's not, the end of the world doesn't really happen.
No.
They kind of stop the end of the world, but it's just through different means that the world might end. That's kind of the themes in those trilogies. So Steve, I think I know the answer to this question I'm about to ask you, but what did you think of In the Mouth of Madness?
This was my first time seeing In the Mouth of Madness. I had not seen it before.
What?
I hadn't seen it before.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is my first viewing.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
It was okay, I guess. No, fuck that, I love this movie. This was fucking amazing. This was really fucking good. It was so good. Holy shit. Shame on me for not seeing this movie up until now.
Oh man, I'm so happy that I'm getting to hear your first thoughts on In the Mouth of Madness. I thought you'd seen it before, because for me, In the Mouth of Madness is a yearly thing. I watch In the Mouth, ever since I was able to pick a copy, when it got reprinted on Blu-ray, a couple years back, it's since then it's been every year I have to watch In the Mouth of Madness. Before I owned it, because the DVD was always out of print, so I always had to rent it, or I did find a torrent copy, so I always had a digital copy always to watch every year. Because this movie for me is this is my favorite John Carpenter film, and just the film itself. I mean, I'll get into that here in a second, but it's just this is one of my all-time favorite movies. So I'm so glad that I could wrap this up in a nice little horror fest package here and hand it to you.
Oh, it was such a wonderful gift, Phil.
Great. Well, since it's your first time, I want to hear your thoughts. Beyond the fact that you're saying you liked it and you feel stupid for never seeing it till now.
I didn't expect it to be that Lovecraftian, but it is.
Yes.
I figured it was going to be Lovecraftian, the whole concept of madness, and, Mouth of Madness is a reference to Lovecraft's own works and stuff like that. So I knew it was going to be there, but I didn't know this was going to straight up play out like it could just be, like it was written by Lovecraft in modern day.
I don't know, it didn't drop enough M-bombs.
You're right, it wasn't racist enough, but there also weren't that many black people in the movie anyway, because Lovecraft wrote this.
There was only one, and he was the head of an insurance company trying to rip white people out of their money.
Rip the white people off.
See? Clearly it's there. This is truly Lovecraftian horror.
Sam Neill being the lead is always wonderful because, those of you listening to this probably don't listen to our show regularly, which you should, because we are charming. But I love Sam Neill in almost anything. If Sam Neill shows up, I'll be like, fuck yeah, it's Sam Neill! I'm so excited now. And especially Sam Neill in horror films really works for me.
Definitely. What all horror films has he been in? Obviously this one, admittedly when I think of Sam Neill, that horror does not come to mind.
There's not too many. He was in fucking Omen 3.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's
he
right.
Was in, Event Horizon.
Oh, dirt. Okay, yeah. As soon as you say it, then I'm like, oh shit, you're fucking duh. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, not many, but just the few that he's in. I'm just like, fuck yeah, this works. And like, I mean, Jurassic Park is much more of an adventure film, but if you shift that slightly to the left, it becomes a horror film.
That's very true. It does.
Like, I think those are the only ones that I can think of offhand.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and yeah, I think that's right.
He is going to be in Thor Ragnarok, which means there may be finally a Thor movie that I care about.
I just saw that. I should just look here and see who he's playing. It does not say who he's playing.
Maybe he's the new Thor, so let's do this.
He's the new Beta Ray Bill. He's going to voice Beta Ray Bill.
Oh my god! That would be amazing.
Keep fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, mainly just those three pretty much, but still, he's great in them. To the point where I wish he was in more horror films.
He should be in more films in general.
He should just be in more films, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But he's great as the lead. I love his character throughout the film, where it is just, he's he's looking for scam artists. It's a fair profession. Like, he's not some fucking asshole. He's just seeing if people are cheating the fucking insurance company or not. And stopping them if they are. And as the movie keeps going along, he's the one that's going like, this is fucking, you're insane, this is reality, that's a fucking book.
This is a con. I know it's a con. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Everything's a con.
Even in the beginning, it's like, you find out real quick if you're dealing with amateurs or professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just so convinced that this is just some professional stuff. You actors are really good.
Yeah, you're good. You're really good.
Find Hobbs End. Win a free lunchbox.
Man, that'd be a terrible prize. What else was I wanted to get into? I mean, just Sam Neill as a whole throughout this entire film. Like, his introduction in the film of kicking the orderly in the balls. Just being like, sorry about the balls! It's a lucky shot!
Oh, not the Carpenters.
That's what immediately wins me over to John Trent.
Yeah. I mean, this film is really just Sam Neill.
I was slightly disappointed in the ending. I hate to jump ahead, but it's so direct to the character of John Trent and Sam Neill. Mm-hmm. After the world is fucked and he finds a movie theater playing In the Mouth of Madness, I'm honestly disappointed that it doesn't say In the Mouth of Madness starring Sam Neill as opposed to saying starring John Trent.
That's fair.
Because it would have established even further that John Trent is a fictional character because he just looks like this actual actor.
Mm-hmm.
That not a huge deal, but I was just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, that's true. That probably would have been pretty funny. But as we get into the theme of the film, the theme of the film is, of course, as I mentioned before, the distinctions between fiction and reality, between sanity and insanity, and how quickly those things can be flipped.
Absolutely.
Now, the core of the film is, of course, the author Sutter Kane, which is very clearly
Do you read Sutter
kind
Kane?
of clearly a play on Stephen King. Like, this film is obviously taking a lot of elements of the real world and then just kind of changing them around to like this way of thinking. So
I took Sutter Kane as being like a modern version of Lovecraft himself, because they outright say like he even outsells Stephen King. Fuck Stephen King.
True, but even the name Sutter Kane kind of
it's meant to
invoke Stephen King's name. But I mean, all of his books, all of Sutter Kane's books are also plays on Lovecraft's books. Like all that type of stuff. I mean, there's
Sam Neill outright being like, "Oh, I've been reading them. They all have the fucking same plot, just slimy things in the dark."
Yeah, exactly. Even there's some lines in the film that are straight out when John and Linda are walking up to the church. The lines John is reading from the book are actually lines from one of Lovecraft's stories.
Yes.
Same with when Linda is reading the lines when John's looking through the ripped open hole and like.
Describing the other...
The words she's reading and describing his stuff, those lines are also from a Lovecraft book. So there's this... I always tell people who have never seen In the Mouth of Madness who like Lovecraft, I'm always like, why haven't you seen this? Because this is... Honestly, this is the closest you're ever going to get to a true Lovecraftian horror film.
Yeah, agreed.
Because every time anything is even remotely being worked on or something, like at the Mouth of Madness... It
gets canceled for Prometheus. Every time.
Exactly. I mean, the most recent one is At the Mountains of Madness. I think that's the correct title for it. I know it's Mountains of Madness, like that type of title. That's been the closest one to get production. Everything else just doesn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. It either gets in production hell or just loses interest. It never happens. This film, though, It's the closest you're ever gonna get. I mean, it handles all the themes of Lovecraft's work like really well. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a huge fan of Lovecraft, because I do find some of his work to be pretty deplorable, and all this racist shit aside, I was kind of poked fun at earlier. But I mean, a lot of themes of dealing with madness, insanity.
Yeah, like, that's the thing that I like most about Lovecraft, is the themes of the stories, because not all of his stories are good.
No,
and again, his racist stuff is pretty deplorable.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you know, I'm a person that thinks that depending on what it is, it's possible to like look at a creation apart from the creator.
Yeah.
And in terms of looking at Lovecraft's themes and concepts of like otherworldly horrors and the gods actually being these interdimensional fucking beings and aliens that are just so beyond what we can conceive, and that's why they're so powerful and terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And again, madness. You know, what can the human mind actually handle? What can't we? That stuff is always that's fear. That is horror at a very primal state of mind.
Yes, exactly. And of course, the general theme of, you might be sane because the sane people are the majority, but if the insane people became a majority, that would switch very quickly. Like, Linda talks about that in the film early on, when he's just talking about reality and fiction and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like asking her like why the books scare her, and like it's all fake. It's all fake. It's like, well, what scares me is if his world it became our world.
Yeah.
And that stuff. And you'll notice very quickly in the film, which is something I've always really dug, is how it... I'm trying to just think of the words to say here. How it flips all that stuff very quickly. Like, even the start of the film is showing you what happens at the end of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on top of, obviously, it starting that usual in media res, where it's like, we already see him getting institutionalized, and I remember he's telling David Warner, I love seeing David Warner and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Him, John Glover. There's a lot of cool actors in this film that, while aren't have huge parts, it's really cool they're in there. But it starts with him telling the story. But even when he gets first locked up, and you're seeing all these things where it's you're not sure if he actually is crazy at the start of the film and stuff. But you get lots of flashes of things happening later, and that's what I really like about the film. Is the film itself is kind of playing. It's kind of meta in a lot of regards, but it is also making you, the audience, question reality and fiction. Like, yes. You're there with John Trent, not sure, if he actually is crazy, if he is seeing these things, what's happening, until, obviously, the end of the film, the finale, when everything is finally revealed and what's going on. That is when you finally get your answers, and that's when John Trent, the character, also gets the answers.
Yes.
I mean, as we're kind of jumping ahead, but the last shot of the film is John Trent realizing he is a fictional character, like coming to terms with it and being shown that, yes, he is a fictional character. And that's what leads to him, like, his mental break into complete insanity. Which again, I love this film because there's no happy ending in this universe.
Oh, no.
The world is done. The world is toast. The world's fucked. Even the main character you think might have some sense, like, might survive. Nope, he's gone.
Yeah. Because,
again, not everyone reads. But there's a movie. There's gonna be a movie.
Oh, that's such a good line.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, when John Trent's talking to Harglow, the editor played by Charlton Heston, you gotta take this off shelf. It's gonna drive people insane or drive people mad. He's like, well, I hope so. The movie comes out next month.
Yeah,
such a great line. But going more into like the story and stuff, where you're obviously introduced that he was an insurance fraud investigator. And that he's going to investigate this disappearance of Sutter Kane. This, his books have sold over 1 billion copies.
Superstar writer.
Translated to 80 languages. As he said, his books are read more than the Bible. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just...
Also, his favorite color is blue.
Jurgen Prochnow isn't in the movie a ton as Sutter Kane, but what he is in it is awesome.
It is.
He is so fantastic. And just delivery of lines, like just his natural charisma on screen. Like, Jurgen Prochnow's a pretty awesome actor, and just all the little stuff there. Just even the character of Sutter Kane, who was just this horror writer, who, because of his influence, like, he starts realizing himself that it isn't necessarily him influencing people with his work. It's the old gods finding him as a vessel to like channel all this stuff to finally take back this world and take it over.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool concept. And again, going back to the whole Lovecraftian themes of sanity, insanity, and power, and all that stuff. And so through his work, because his work is so widely read, it is the perfect vessel for these creatures to finally take back this world, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
So I've been rambling here. Do you want to talk any specific, any specific positives you want to talk about? Besides, of course, Sam Neill and the couple things I've mentioned so far.
I mean, I can talk about Sam Neill for the next hour. But there's a lot of little things that I like in this. Like fucking Wilhelm von Homburg's character.
Yeah, it's just like this normal like townsperson, this farmer character. Or I guess it's kind of debatable if he's like the bartender, the owner of the bar in the town or something. But yeah.
I'm not sure if he's the bartender because Sam Neill asks him if he can get him a drink, and then he leaves while Sam Neill stays there, which would be weird. If that's his bar. I always took it because of his coveralls and his like plaid shirt. I always look like he's just like some sort of farmer that lives in Hobbs End. Yeah, I think it's that. But I just like his character showing up. I like the fact that he just gets fucked up, and he's like, for some reason, he's one of the last ones around just to get more information to John Trent. But he has like a little line just like, you know what the fucking damn of it is that I don't know if we existed before that damn book did.
Yeah.
Just again, there's a lot of subtle times when they keep mentioning what is real versus what is not.
Yeah, there's throughout the film, early in the film, John Trent keeps saying this is reality. And then there comes a point where he says, this is not reality. Mm-hmm. And that is when you really start getting the everything kind of starts switching over when, like, more crazy stuff starts happening. Like, a lot of the more bits and pieces in Hobbs End that are in Sutter Kane's books start coming to life. Like the Mrs. Pickman killing her husband, turning into a beast. Then the beast that's in like the conservatory, the kids going after the dog. Mm-hmm. What was the other one? Of course, I think that's most of them. But like, there's a lot of the hallway. The hallway that at the end of the film, that is also part of one of the books. Yeah. Because you can see all the book covers online, and the book artwork of the books is fucking rad.
It's so fucking rad.
Even for stuff that you don't really see totally like straight on in the film, these are really well realized art, like horror covers that you'd actually think you'd see at like Barnes and Noble today, and all of them have obviously straight imagery that is in the film in Hobbs End, because Hobbs End is a made up place. Yeah, and like you mentioned, Simon's character played by Wilhelm von Humberg, who people might know as Vigo in Ghostbusters 2 and one of the terrorists in Die Hard. Even like he says, I don't know who came first, the town or us. Or sorry, the book or us. Like, it's clear that at this point, everything, like John's character, Linda, Hobbs End, everything, none of that existed. It all was created and brought to life purely because of Sutter Kane's work and his power that's being granted to him from the old ones.
Linda being fake was the biggest surprise to me. Mm-hmm. That I didn't see coming at all.
And neither. I like the explanation too. When Hargo was like, I never knew that person. Well, he wrote her out.
She was written out.
Yep. Because this is something. This film, it's good that Steve liked it, but I know a lot of people don't like it the first time. It's one of those ones you definitely have to watch again because it's easy to miss stuff. I think it's easy to go like do the line of you didn't get it, but it's easy to miss stuff. Like after you watch the film, you realize the beginning of the film. Like, why Kane's agent was trying to kill John. Because Kane's agent was the only other, like, only two people to get scripts of the book. And he read it, and he realized what Kane was doing. Like, because then you realize that John was the one to deliver this manuscript, basically deliver the end of the world to publishing. Yeah. And the agent, I can't say the editor, Sutter Kane's editor, notices it and wants to stop him. That's the whole point at the beginning of the film. He's trying to kill John to stop the end of the world. Yes. It's easy not to get that in the first time because you're just thinking, oh, the book just drove this guy mad. Like, no, there's a deliberate reason why he's trying to do that. And of course he fails. Yeah. And then the end of the world comes about. But the town they filmed in, the sets, the everything, like that church they're filming at, like everything just feels like it does belong in a horror book. Yes, and it's pretty fantastic in that regard. It's like like I know a lot. I've heard a lot of people back a long time ago would just always like might think that church or something was a matte painting because literally this church does exist in real life and it's just in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's a real thing. it's a very creepy, terrifying image. Like this, like Byzantine church of like black steeples and all this stuff. It's like a very, very scary looking church,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes for a great set piece kind of for this town of Hobbs End.
Yeah,
and with all this is a lot of great practical effects,
mm-hmm.
which on the podcast we are always big proponents of practical effects.
Oh yeah, and and in terms of Lovecraft, they definitely get tentacly.
Oh, they do. Very technically, very slimy. And what I really like about the end of the film when all the creatures bust out of the door is that you don't see them head on.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like sharp cuts, quick glimpses. Even when he's running from them, they're kind of out of focus in the background. It's like not a lot of... Like, I think it's easy for some films just to want to linger on it. To say like, oh, we did all this costume work. Let's just show you everything. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, they made like 30 different suits, made all these people wear them, and really... They don't linger on them. No. And I think that is some very disciplined filmmaking, which, again, we're talking about John Carpenter, so I think that's to be, to be expected. Oh, yeah. But under a lesser filmmaker, it'd be the temptation to show everything off and spoil the audience eyes. It could be very, very, very tempting. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad they don't do that.
Oh, absolutely. And that's, again, very Lovecraftian, in the sense that you can't get a good look at these fucking creatures.
No, because they will drive you insane.
Yeah.
So that's very cool as well. See here, looking in the notes, if there's any other like bits you want to talk about.
I mean, nothing in particular. Just it's a good fucking movie. The horror bits are there. The pacing is fucking great. At no point do I feel bored or let down by the film. Everything moves as it should. Everything moves in the direction that you want it to. It does. Is this reality or is this not reality thing very well. Probably the best since the first Phantasm.
That's fair.
As opposed to other movies that just came out. That ravage my brain. Oh. But everything works in the movie really well. I like the characters. I like how fucking John and Linda get along.
Mm-hmm. Like, clearly at the beginning, like, John is kind of seen as the ladies' man kind of character. Like, he thinks he can hit on her. She's no interest in him. So even...
Not at all.
Even when they're going on the trip and stuff, it does seem like they have some, like, camaraderie. There's clearly some of that going on. And that's cool. But it's funny, like, when she's sleeping, he pulls the fucking, like, bicycle horn out and, like, startles her. Then she fucking hits him with the bag of chips. Yeah. Such a fun little scene. Like, there's little moments for some levity and humor in the film. But it doesn't try to... doesn't try to break tension. It makes sure to keep it up.
Yeah, the tension is there the whole time.
Yeah, some of the humor might just be through some of like the shit that you're seeing Trent go through, like the whole car. Like the car scene when he's like trying to leave Hobbs End but keeps going back and is having to like repeat and all that type of stuff.
My favorite John Trent moment is "Come on, you old bitch!" As he's just continuously getting sick of all of this horse shit.
Yeah, all the little things too, like the painting at the hotel, how it keeps changing. Little horror bits there, of course. I do like when he comes back and trying to get Linda, and Linda like throws him through the fucking door.
Such
a funny like little thing, obviously, but that's good. Trying to think of other little like this film. The film is packed with little things, packed with stuff for you to like really just, like sink your teeth into and fully digest. It's definitely something that lends itself well to repeat viewings, as I mentioned before, because you can always pick up on more stuff and pick up on like little details, little hints that are telling you where this film is going, which is pretty fantastic. So in the finale of the film, that's when we finally really. It's funny, like the main finale when John leaves Hobbs End is still like about 10 so minutes from the end of the film. Like he's told all this realization. He's handed the manuscript. And now he's just allowed to leave to bring about the new gospel, the new Bible to the world. Mm-hmm. And so like he just drops it, he tries burning it, but it still keeps showing up until that's my favorite scene of the film, when he's asleep on the bus and he's talking to Kane shows up. He's like, I'm a god now. I'm going to show you my power. When you wake up,
look around.
Something I noticed. Did I ever tell you my favorite color is blue?
And then he wakes up.
Everything's blue.
Including Grandma's hair, which is my favorite fucking part.
Such a great attention to detail. It's not just like, they're not like putting a color filter on. No, they made everyone wear blue. The bus is blue. The grandma's hair is blue. And it's a great little set piece there.
And then he wakes up again. So it's again, like, what is reality?
There are a lot of those like dreams within dream type situations and stuff. Again, now some films that horror films, that's kind of cheap when they do that type of stuff. But this film, I feel, is deserved because again, like you said, it's the questioning: what is reality? What is fiction? What are we seeing in the film? Like, what is it? Is it real? Is this real? Is this a fake out? Like, what are we being told here? And it's that ever questioning aspect of the film that I just I always find super awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And even then, like, even when John's trying to save everything, he finds out, no, he can't keep track of what's going on timeline wise. Like, everything's so fucked up for him. He doesn't realize he already turned, like, he already turned in the manuscript. The book's already in printing. It's like a New York Times bestsellers list for like 7 weeks at this point. The film's coming out, like everything. It's getting crazy. And to which
you like the book? This shouldn't surprise you.
Yes, like how even at that point, it's like that point you might think he's gone crazy, but it's almost as if he's trying to stop the spread.
Yeah.
Like he's killing people who are reading the book in an attempt, I guess in his mind, to try to scare people. Like in his mind, he's still trying to stop this. Like he thinks he can save everybody and save the world, even though it's a completely futile matter.
Yeah.
And also he's a fictional character.
That helps too.
He only exists because Kane created him. And that is that's how the film kind of ends.
At least he gets to keep existing.
But who knows in what form.
Eating popcorn and having a good time.
God, Sam Neill's laughter as like
it's infectious.
It's so like and on top of that, the ending credits, the music in the film is awesome. The opening track for the opening credits, and of course the end credits, with that John Carpenter of course did. Now it's a very different Carpenter soundtrack. It's more like rocky and like heavy and stuff, and it's really rad.
I think it works for the film. I see that some people, like in some reviews, people didn't like the music, which is a fair criticism, but it worked for me.
Yeah, it's subjective, so that's totally fair. It's not, but just when get the little guitar lines and the New Line logo's coming up, then you get that like pounding like bass drum.
Fuck yeah!
And it's like, yeah, man, with the printing presses going and everything. That's a really rad opening segment. So, now, we didn't really talk about any specific negatives. I don't necessarily have any that come to mind off the top of my head, but were there any negatives you had for the film?
I think the only thing that I can mention is one that you just mentioned, not in a negative way, but for me, it's a bit too much for me. And it's the fact that when Sam Neill shows up and he says, that's why I destroyed the book, and he's like, no, you gave me the book like fucking 8 weeks ago. Even in the film where, like, what is reality? That just doesn't make sense timeline-wise to me. It seems like it's too much. It seems like the entire adventure in Hobbs End didn't have to happen at all because this already got delivered.
Well, and I think the idea is that it got delivered. Now, we're not necessarily seeing everything that happens to his character. He could very well... I mean, we're seeing some bits from his perspective, like him burning the book and everything, but we don't know how much time is necessarily passing on his coming back to the real world, and like what we're just being shown certain stuff. We're not necessarily there with him all the way,
which is
that's
fair.
how I was interpreted. So it's fine, yeah.
It's such an out of nowhere fucking thing after everything else, especially with him like super avoiding giving the book away. And like, I'm not saying that the book shouldn't have gotten to the publisher. I'm just saying that I would have liked to have seen how.
That's fair.
Instead of it just being like, oh yeah, it's been sold even before I started talking to you or whatever. That's just a bit too weird for me. But that's literally the only thing I can complain about.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. You're a piece of shit, and I hope you die in a car fire. But that's okay.
That's fair too.
Yeah. So see you in hell, you motherfucker. I hope you get hot coals up your ass.
Oh, I'll see you there too, because we are two sides of the same coin. We're the same person.
This is not reality.
This is reality. This is reality because there's a barn there.
You didn't pay close enough attention. It was to the north.
Oh, fuck. That is a spooky church.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Byzantine church. Oh, my God. Cain, give back my children.
I love that moment.
Oh, no, dogs.
Right. You guys all have guns. Why?
Yeah, but those dogs are scary.
Shoot the dogs.
Cain
Vigo's the only one that shot once at the dogs.
He shot once and is like, fuck this. He had to save his other round to blow his brains out.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. I can't. He wrote me this way. Oh man, so star ratings, Steve. Star ratings for In the Mouth of Madness.
This is a fucking horror classic, and this may surpass Big Trouble in Little China as my favorite John Carpenter movie. I need to sit down, I need to sink my teeth into it more to watch it more, but my initial one-time viewing of this movie, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm a total 5 out of 5. And it's funny because this film had the same reception that The Thing and Prince of Darkness had, where they didn't do very well at the box office. And it's been one of those films, all those films. I mean, obviously The Thing has been like well regarded since it came out, but Prince of Darkness and In the Mouth of Madness, I still think are very deep cult favorites.
Yeah,
and don't have a lot of like mainstream praise. So I always try to spread the film to people and let them know that it exists. Like, check this out. This film's fucking rad. Rah.
It's rad as shit. Yeah, so, I'm gonna have to pick it up on Blu-ray once I get money again.
Yeah, the Blu-ray is very good. It also has a commentary from John Carpenter and I think Michael DeLuca, the writer. I can't remember who the second person on the commentary is, but he does have a commentary with John Carpenter at least, so you can check that. That's at least something for a special feature. You get sometimes some older movies from the this time even nowadays some movies will just get put out with no special features, so you do have a commentary track to go with it. So yeah, our end review, both 5 stars.
5-star horror film.
5-star horror film. Check that shit out, guys. Now, to get in the plug section, you can, of course, contact us. Like, if you see the film and you think it's dog shit, A, I want you to go fuck yourself. But B, you can email us at moviefilmswithbillandsteve@gmail.com. And you can also find all of our episodes on a Tumblr, moviefilmswithbillandsteve.tumblr.com. All of the episodes are listed there with links to SoundCloud, all that stuff. There's also a contact page. If you go to that contact page, you'll find all the ways to get in touch with us. And I will list out 3 of the main ones. 1, Facebook. You can find us there, Movie Films with Bill and Steve. Give us a like. Tell us that you came here from 8-Bit Geek, and that'd be really cool. I love to know how well cross-promotion goes. The second place is on iTunes. Check it out. Give us a subscribe. And if you like what you like, give us a 5-star review. That's really nice, and that'd be really, real appreciated.
Same number of stars as Mouth of Madness.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And it's also the same amount of stars we gave Crank 2.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Crank High Voltage.
Crank High Voltage.
I always want to say Crank 2. Fuck. We do review a lot of Jason Statham movies. Come check that out. And the third place you can find us, we're on Stitcher. You can find us either on the web player or on the website. I guess, no, the website or the app. There's the words I want to use. And I am on Twitter at LovableBill.
And if you want to check out my films, because I'm a director, and if you want to look at my films and be like, wow, for someone that likes to criticize other films, your films are fucking pieces of shit, Steve. First you gotta go check them out at silverspotlightfilms.com, facebook.com/silverspotlightfilms, or if you want to check out my newest and greatest horror film, Karis Hell, just go to karishell.com. You'll find the link to the trailer, a link to buy it. You should buy it. And if you ever just want to look at me wearing a bunch of spandex, please check out facebook.com/theamazingspidersteve, which I need to get back to updating now that Karis Hell is not consuming my entire life every day.
Fantastic. Well, as always, guys, I've been Bill.
I've been Steve.
Do you read Sutter Kane?
Yeah.